Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. So you bought your first 3D printer and now you want to know how to improve your day-to-day with 3D printing. Every single hobby has its tricks and it has its tools. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything that I use in my day-to-day to make your 3D printing a little bit easier. Now, over the years, I made some pretty dumb purchases. Don't be like me. So in today's video, I'll be showing you 20 tools I actually use in my workflow organized by how you're going to use them. Setup, filament, post-processing, maintenance, and even air quality. I also put together a one-page sheet with all the QR codes to everything so that you can have them at your fingertips. All affiliate links, no BS crap, just what I use. You can use it and support the channel at the same time. If these kinds of guides are useful to you, smash the like button, drop me a comment. It can be as simple as, hey, what's going on, Nick? Great video, keep them coming, and it genuinely helps out the channel. And it's also like mental motivation to me. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's first start with what not to buy. And if there is anything that I miss here, please drop me a comment and tell me what was a waste of money for you. First up, hand Allen key sets. I used to use these for years, never even thought about switching until I started building more printers and doing more maintenance and realized I was spending more time fighting with the screws than actually completing the tasks. The moment I picked up a proper electric screwdriver, I felt like a complete idiot for wasting so much time. And we're going to get to that in just a minute. Next up is canned air, and this one actually goes back to when I used to work in IT building computers for a PC store. We used canned air to clean out every single machine that came in for service, and it just became habit. I kept doing it at home for years, and then I got tired of paying for it every time I ordered. And I also noticed that some of the cans would go bad before I even got through them. There is a much better solution, and I'm going to show you in just a minute. Third, build plate adhesive and sprays. If your plate is clean and your first layer is dialed in, you don't need them. A lot of people reach for glue when the real problem is surface prep. Just save your money. And yes, I bought all of these, including the canned air, for years. I could estimate that I spent thousands over a decade doing PC repair with canned air. Now, the first 3 tools that I'd buy are the ones that make every part of this hobby easier. Let's start with the ones that replace the canned air for good. And that's why today's video is sponsored by Wolfbox. And I'd like to spend a second on this because the Wolfbox MF200 is genuinely relevant here. This isn't a tool that I'm putting in just for a sponsorship. It actually replaced something I was buying over and over again. The MF200 is a cordless air blower with strong airflow, swappable battery, and one charge that lasts me through multiple cleaning sessions. Compare that to a can of air, and the biggest problem is that I like to blow out all of my printers, and you just can't do that with a canned air. On my workbench, it's doing constant work, dusting off fans, rails, clearing filament dust off of the build plates between prints. And because it's cordless, I'm also using it for many different aspects in my life. Cleaning out my vacuum filters, clearing off my miter saw after I use it. I use it to clean off my dusty patio furniture. If you live in Arizona, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you want to support the brands that support this channel, the link will be down below. I'll also have it in the description along with everything else that we're going to talk about today. Next up is the Fantech screwdriver. I used an Allen set for many years and never questioned it. Then I started building more printers, more assembly, more screws, and of course, more maintenance. And I finally made the switch. I don't know why I waited so long to buy one of these. Maintenance on all my machines was the biggest workflow increase. Every single step just moves faster. And when something is faster and less annoying, you actually do it on schedule instead of putting it off. Next is the extruder unclogger, something that I've seen called a clog poke tool. Now, I have a particular machine that seems to clog after almost every single finished print. I won't name it, but that tool gets used consistently. All you do is you heat up your hot end to 270, make sure you have a clear path through the extruder from the top, and gently give it some force and push the metal rod down. Many times you'll hear a pop and the filament will eject from the nozzle. It's as easy as that. Now, if you're ever designing an object to print, calipers will give you the precision that a tape measure and a ruler just does not. The calipers are the main tool that I reach for when measuring something in my house or in my shop that I want to build and print around. When you need it to actually fit, you need real numbers. The other job that they do is flow rate troubleshooting. If something feels off with your extrusion, print a 20 by 20 calibration cube and then measure it. Your calipers will tell you immediately if your dimensions are where they should be. Moisture is one of those problems that sneaks up on you. If you print with PLA regularly, moisture is a thing to be aware of. Now, for most people, the Sunlu S4 dryer is going to be a great option. If you're running multiple printers and want to keep every single spool dried and ready at the same time, the Sunlu S4 is worth looking at. It holds up to 4 spools of filament at once, and you can also feed straight out of it into multiple printers. The S4 tops out at 70 degrees Celsius, which covers everything from PLA all the way up to nylon and PC. And it also has a built-in humidity sensor that automatically starts and stops drying based on real-time moisture levels. You don't have to sit there and babysit it. You can queue it up, multiple filaments. The S4 is a great option. Now, once your filament is dry, you need somewhere to put it. That isn't a stack of boxes on the floor. The BQ feed rack is what I use, and when you're running multiple materials across multiple printers, it keeps things from turning into a mess. Spools are easy to grab, they're off of the floor, and when you're running multiple materials across multiple printers, it keeps things from turning into a complete mess. Alright, so your print finished, now what? The tool I didn't expect to love for post-processing is a wood chisel. Here's how I started using it. I started by pulling off supports with my fingers. Then I grabbed a flathead screwdriver, and that's when it clicked. If a flathead screwdriver is working pretty good, then a chisel is going to be even better. I already had them in my toolbox, tried it, and never went back. They get under supports cleanly and pops them off without wrecking the surface underneath. It's also sharp enough to clean up blobs and boogers and sculpt edges that need a little bit of work. So what are you using for your support removal right now? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing the tools that you guys are using. And if you missed it, check out my X2D video I just released. It goes through how I use the X2D now for creating easy to remove supports without wasting filament. The link will be down below. Now, flush cutters are probably on more benches than anything else in this list. You can trim supports, clip filament ends, clean up brims. It's worth having more than one of these because they also tend to walk off. I think I probably have 4 or 5 now, I don't know. I use them alongside my wood chisel, and when there's more delicate removal to be done, the flush cutters are the tool to grab. Next is the razor blade and handle. I see others using things such as deburring tools, but the precision of the blade with the handle just works better for me. You can easily remove brims and delicate supports with this tool. Now, last up in this workflow is the Tapo camera, and I want to talk a little bit on how most people think about these. The obvious use is pointing one right at a single print bed and watching the nozzle. That works, but what I actually do is mount one on a shelf and pull it back wide enough so you can see 3, 4, or even more printers. One camera, an entire room covered. You can see it at a glance, and anything has gone wrong across all the printers without babysitting each machine individually. And at $16 all day long, they're a great option, and almost every printer has a printable mount for them if you want to go that route. Now, maintenance won't magically boost your print quality, but it keeps things running smooth, quiet, and reliable. And I want to say this up front. The reason most people skip maintenance isn't laziness, it's friction. It takes time, it's slow going, and it feels like work. So let's talk about making it not that. The Wolfbox MF200 comes back into play in a big way here. Before I get into lubing or greasing anything, first what I do is blow everything out. Print heads, fans, filters, rails, all of it. The MF200 blasts out all the dust and debris that's been building up inside of the machine and gets everything looking almost new again. It's the step most people skip completely, and it makes a real difference. For build plates, IPA is your quick wipe between prints. It clears debris, cleans the surface fast, but when a plate has been building up oil and residue over time, IPA just doesn't work good enough. That's where Dawn Power Wash comes in. Honest story, my wife brought it home one day. I looked at it, figured it was worth a shot because you can spread it evenly across the entire plate instead of globbing on dish soap. It just rinses cleaner and works quicker. Just another one of those odd finds by accident. Now for rods and linear rails, Super Lube oil is what I've been using since I got my first Bambu printer. It's high quality, it does the job, and I've stuck with it for that reason. The one downside is that it can go out of stock because it's genuinely popular. So I've been testing out Liberty oil as an alternative, and it does the same job. The bonus with Liberty oil is that it already comes with a needle tip bottle, which is exactly how I apply my Super Lube anyways. With Super Lube, I have to buy a needle tip bottle separately to get that precision application. Either one works great, it just comes down to what's available. Now, white lithium grease has been my go-to for Z-screws and heavier contact points since I started 3D printing. It's high quality, stays in stock, one tube will last you years unless you're running dozens of machines. It's one of those purchases you make once and forget about it. And for cleaning out those grooves before you re-grease, gear floss gets into the threads on the Z-screws, making for an almost brand new look. These are new on my list and only because I was told to give them a try and they actually do work great. The alternative is just wiping with your microfiber cloth. If you maintain your printers, they will last a lot longer. All right, guys, this one's going to be a little personal for me. I work, shoot, and edit all in the same small office space. And if you've ever run PLA in a room like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That maple syrup smell that fills the entire room. I was getting small headaches, feeling a little dizzy after long sessions, and even outside ventilation wasn't always an option. So I went looking for a real solution. I bought both the Callaway Air Mega and the Levitt air purifier to do my comparison. Now, I want to be completely upfront with you. This is not a scientific test. I don't have an air quality meter. I'm not running controlled conditions. What I wanted to do was run each one separately while printing PLA and paid attention to whether I felt less nauseous. That was my entire metric, and honestly, I think it's pretty valid. Both machines worked, both cut down on the smell noticeably, and with less smell came no headaches, and that's basically all I was looking for. The difference that I noticed was that the Levitt seemed to catch the smell a little bit quicker. Both units have a color indicator light that shows the air quality in real time, and on the Levitt I could watch it turn red and the fan kick up a little bit earlier. I ended up keeping the Levitt in my office and I've been happy with it ever since. I have less odor, no headaches, and I can actually work in the same room while printing. Now, and I want to be clear about this, if you're running ASA, ABS, or any other materials that off-gas more seriously, none of this applies. Those materials should never be run inside the house. I only run those in the garage and you should be doing the same. An air purifier is not a substitute for proper ventilation when you're working with more aggressive materials. But for PLA in a small office, getting one of these running in the background is a real quality of life improvement. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. If I had to pick the first three things to buy from this whole list, the Wolfbox air blower, Fantic screwdriver, and extruder unclogger, those three cover setup and fast maintenance, and you'll always use them constantly. Beyond that, dry your filament, keep your spools organized, and clean your plate the right way, and match the lubricant to your maintenance. Links to everything we covered today are in the description. If you want to support the brands that support this channel, Wolfbox is down there as well. You won't be disappointed. Now, which tools did I miss that you're using in your workflow? Let me know down in the comments. And if you found this video useful, go ahead and like that video, drop a comment, let me know that you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me more than you know, and I'll be forever in your debt. Again, my name is Nick. I hope you're having a great day, and as always, happy printing.